Have you ever been belittled by a woman in front of her friends? That comment about your job, that joke about your height, that look she gave when you tried to speak, like what you said wasn't worth her time, and you laughed. You played it off. You acted like it didn't get to you, but it did. It got to you on the drive home. It got to you that night, lying in bed, replaying it. It got to you the next morning, wondering why you didn't say something, and what kind of man you became the moment you didn't. Let me be brutally honest with you, my friend. A woman who belittles you isn't testing your patience. She's measuring your worth. And every second you let it pass without a response, she gets her answer. And that answer is going to define how she treats you for the next 5 years. But here's the kicker. Most men get this completely wrong. They think the answer is to fight back, to get loud, to put her in her place. That's not strength. That's reaction. And reaction is what she was hoping for. Today I'm going to give you 5 Stoic moves that shut down a woman who belittles you, without an argument, without a raised voice, and without ever giving her the reaction she came for. And by move 5, the one I'm telling you to wait for, you'll understand something most men go their entire lives without learning. The thing she's actually afraid of. The thing she's hoping you never figure out. So stay with me. Because these aren't tricks. These are the moves of a man who's done being belittled, and they're going to change how every woman speaks to you for the rest of your life. Move 1, the pause that costs her more than you. The first move is the foundation of all the others. She belittles you. The room goes quiet for a second. Everyone is watching to see what you'll do next. And here's where most guys lose. They react. Their face changes. Their voice tightens. They scramble for a comeback. They explain themselves. They try to win the moment back with words, and the moment is already lost. But you're not most guys. You don't react. You don't defend. You don't explain. You do something far more devastating. You pause. 3 seconds of silence. That's it. No words, no expression, just stillness. Because here's the truth, my friend. The pause is what separates a man who's controlled by his emotions from a man who controls them. And women feel that difference instantly. In those 3 seconds, 3 things happen on her side. First, her brain expects a reaction. When it doesn't come, she has to recalibrate. She thought she had you figured out. Suddenly, she doesn't. Second, her own words echo back to her. The longer the silence, the louder her insult sounds in her own head. You don't have to tell her she crossed the line. The silence tells her for you. Third, everyone else in the room feels it too. And in that moment, the dynamic flips. She's no longer the one in control of the conversation. You are. Without saying a word, most guys ruin the pause by ending it wrong. They smile awkwardly. They change the subject too fast. They try to make it comfortable again, and the moment they do, they hand her back the power they just took. Here's what you do instead. You hold the pause. You meet her eyes. You don't blink. And when you finally speak, if you speak at all, your voice is calm. Your tone is flat. You don't reference what she said. You don't bring it up. You move on like nothing happened, but everyone in the room knows it did. That, my friend, is the difference between a man who fights for respect and a man who simply takes it without asking. Move 2. The sentence that makes her question everything. Sometimes the pause isn't enough. Sometimes she pushes harder. She mocks again. She doubles down because she expected the silence. And now she wants the reaction she didn't get the first time. This is where most men finally crack. They argue back. They explain why she's wrong. And every one of those moves signals the same thing, that her words got under your skin. But you're not most guys. There's one sentence, 8 words, that ends this entire dynamic. And once you learn it, you'll never lose this moment again. That's an interesting thing to say. Read it again. Memorize it. Tattoo it on your brain. That's an interesting thing to say. You deliver it flat. No emotion, no follow-up, no defense. You don't add a question. You don't make it sarcastic. You don't smirk. You just say it and let it hang in the air. Because here's the kicker, my friend. This sentence is devastating for one reason. It doesn't fight her. It frames her. 6 things happen in her head in the 4 seconds after you say it. 1. Her brain registers that you didn't take the bait. The reaction she was hunting for didn't come. 2. The word interesting is a trap. It's not insulting, it's not defensive, but it's not neutral either. It's a label, and labels are sticky. 3. She has to wonder what you mean by it. Did you find her cruel, childish, insecure? You haven't said. So now she fills in the blank, and her brain almost always picks the worst version. 4. She can't argue with the sentence. There's nothing to push back against. You didn't accuse her of anything. You just made an observation. So now she's stuck. 5. She replays what she said, and the longer she sits with it, the more it sounds wrong in her own mouth. 6. And this is the killer. She now has to choose. Either she escalates and looks worse, or she backs down and accepts that her move just failed. Both options cost her. And what she does in the 48 hours after you use this sentence, that's the most overlooked part of this entire dynamic. We'll come back to it in move 4, because what you do then is just as important as what you said now. Move 3. The walk away. Every woman remembers. Sometimes the move isn't a sentence, sometimes it's an exit, but not the kind you think. Most guys ruin the walk away. They slam doors, they storm out, they make speeches, they turn it into a performance, and the moment they do, they're still emotionally tied to her. Still trying to make her feel something, still letting her control the dynamic, just from across the room. That's not walking away. That's reacting with your feet instead of your mouth. The Stoic walkaway is silent, it's slow, and it's clean. She belittles you. The pause hits. Maybe the sentence lands, maybe it doesn't. She pushes again. The energy is wrong. The room knows it. You finish your drink, you stand up. You don't make a speech, you don't say goodbye, you don't explain where you're going. You just leave. And here's the part that destroys her, my friend. You don't text her later. You don't follow up. You don't send the angry message at 2 a.m. explaining why you left. You don't post passive-aggressive things on social media. You don't reach out at all. You go home. You sleep. You wake up the next morning and live your life like the moment never happened. Here's what's happening on her side while you're gone. She's replaying it. She's telling her friends a version of the story that makes her the protagonist. She's rationalizing. She's looking at her phone, expecting a message. Angry, apologetic, anything. And nothing comes. By Tuesday, she's the one wondering. By Wednesday, she's the one scrolling your social media. By Thursday, she's the one drafting messages and deleting them. By Friday, the version of the story she told her friends starts to feel wrong even to her. Because here's the truth. The men a woman remembers aren't the ones who fought back. They're the ones who walked away clean. The cleaner the walk, the louder the silence. And the louder the silence, my friend, the deeper she sits with what she did. Real quick, my friend, if this is hitting different so far, do me one small favor. Tap the like button. It tells YouTube to send this to more men who need to hear it. The men still trapped in the cycle, the men still letting it happen. And drop a number in the comments. A 1 if move 1 was your moment. A 2 if it was the sentence. A 3 if the walkaway hit closest to home. I read every number. And what's coming next in move 4? That's where everything we've built so far becomes permanent. Because moves 1, 2, and 3 are responses, move 4 is something completely different. It's the move that makes her never try this again. Move 4, the standard she'll never forget crossing. Moves 1, 2, and 3 handle one moment. Move 4 prevents the next one. Because here's the harsh truth, my friend. If a woman belittled you once, she's testing whether she can do it again. And whether she can do it again is decided in the 48 hours that follow. This is where move 4 comes in, the standard. Most guys confuse a standard with a threat. They say things like, "If you do that again, I'm done." That's not a standard. That's a child negotiating. Threats give her something to push against. Threats keep you emotionally in the game. A standard isn't a threat. It's a fact. You don't announce it loudly. You don't give a speech. You don't make her sit through a 20-minute conversation about what she did wrong. You set it once, calmly, in plain words. Something like, "I don't accept that tone from anyone, not from you, not from a friend, not from family. The line isn't yours to test." Then you stop. You don't justify it. You don't explain it. You don't ask her if she understands. You let it sit there, exactly like the pause from move 1, but bigger. Now here's what I promised you in move 2. Remember when I said what she does in the 48 hours after matters as much as what you said? Here's why. Within 48 hours of you setting that standard, she'll test it, almost every time. Maybe with a small comment, maybe with a joke that's just a little too sharp, maybe with the same tone, just dressed up in different words. She's not doing this to hurt you. She's doing it to find out if your standard was real, or if it was just words you said because you were upset. And this is where 90% of men fail. They miss the test. They let it slide because it was small. They tell themselves it wasn't a big deal. And the moment they do, the standard they set 48 hours ago becomes a lie. She learned something. She learned that your line bends. She learned that with enough time she can erode it. She learned that you didn't really mean it. And once she learns that, my friend, the standard is dead. Forever. So here's what you do instead. The second she tests the line, even with a small comment, you respond exactly the same way you did the first time. The pause, the sentence, or the walk away. Same calm, same flat tone, same energy. No anger, no heat, no "I told you about this." Just the same response, delivered the same way, until she understands. Because consistency is what makes a standard real. And a real standard becomes something she stops testing. Not because she's afraid of you, because she finally respects what you've drawn. Move 5. The man she can't belittle. Move 5 is the deepest one, and it's the move I told you to wait for from the very beginning, because moves 1 through 4 are tactics. They handle moments. Move 5 isn't a tactic, it's a transformation. It's who you become between the moments. And here's the truth, my friend. If you only learn the first 4 moves, you'll handle every belittlement situation perfectly, and you'll still keep ending up in them. Because the situations themselves are a symptom. Move 5 is the cure. Earlier I told you, move 5 reveals what she's actually afraid of. Here it is. She's not afraid of your anger. She's not afraid of your comebacks. She's not even afraid of you walking away, because most men who walk away come back. She's afraid of the man who walked away once and built a life she'd lose more than her pride trying to get back to. This is the part most YouTube channels won't tell you, my friend. Because it's not a tactic, it's not a sentence, it's not a clever response. It's the slow, daily work of becoming a man whose presence makes belittlement impossible. 3 things build that man. First, your standards become bigger than her opinion. Most men measure themselves by how women see them. Their day depends on her tone. Their mood depends on her message. Their self-worth rises and falls with her validation. The Stoic man does the opposite. His worth is built daily, through the gym, through his work, through the discipline he keeps when no one is watching. By the time a woman tries to belittle him, her opinion is the smallest evidence of his value, not the loudest. Second, distance becomes a tool you actually use. Most men talk about walking away. Few actually do it, and even fewer do it without coming back the next day. The Stoic man knows distance isn't a punishment, it's an information request. When someone crosses a line, he steps back, not to make her chase, not to make a point, but because his peace is more valuable than her presence. And because he means it, the distance becomes real. Third, your life stops being centered around her reaction. Here's the deepest one, my friend. Most men, even when they apply moves 1 through 4, are still secretly thinking about how she'll react. They walk away, but they're hoping she'll text. They set the standard, but they're hoping she'll respect them more. They use the sentence, but they're watching her face for the response. That's still her game, just played at a different level. The Stoic man uses these moves and then forgets she exists. He doesn't check her social media. He doesn't track her response. He doesn't replay the moment in his head. He goes back to his work, his body, his goals, and within a week, the moment is gone for him entirely. She's not gone. The relationship isn't necessarily over, but the moment doesn't own him anymore. Earlier I told you that what you do in the next 7 days will define how she treats you for the next 5 years. Here's why. The next time she even thinks about belittling you, the next moment, the next month, the next year, she'll feel something subconscious, a hesitation, a weight. The memory of the man who didn't react, the man who didn't chase, the man who walked when he meant it, the man who became someone she couldn't quite figure out anymore. And that hesitation is what protects you for the rest of the relationship, or the rest of your life, long after you forget the moment ever happened. Because she's not afraid of your reactions, my friend. She's afraid of your absence. And the man who can give it to her without flinching, that man, she never tries this with again. So there you have it. 5 Stoic moves that shut down a woman who belittles you. But here's the reframe most YouTubers won't give you, my friend. Most men ask the wrong question. They ask, how do I respond when she belittles me? The man who's done with the cycle asks something completely different. He asks, why am I still in a place where that even happens? And once you ask that question, everything changes. The 5 moves stop being tactics for handling a moment. They become reflections of who you already are. The pause is just how you breathe. The sentence is just how you talk. The walk away is just how you live. The standard is just where the line was always going to be. And the man is just you. That's the real shift, my friend. Because at the end of the day, the woman who belittles a man like that, she only does it once. By Tuesday next week, that man is already gone. If this video changed how you'll handle the next moment, drop "I never bend again" in the comments. Let me see who's stepping up tonight. If you know a brother who's stuck in this cycle right now, share this with him. Some men only escape once another man hands them the words. And subscribe, because the next video goes deeper. We're going into what she does the second you go silent on her, and the one Stoic move that makes her come back without you ever saying a word. My friend, you're not most guys anymore. You're the man no woman belittles twice.